Hi guys, welcome back. My name is Peter, this is Tech Sovara, and today we're going to talk about video games, why they are hard to build, and why they don't have to be. So let's get straight into it. So, the story kind of starts with my own experience from the very first video game that I built, and also from what I've been seeing on another channel called Kira TV. Kira TV is a critique channel. It's a kind of this critique channel of projects and things that have gone wrong. And one thing that I've noticed on that and other channels is the just really large amount of teams and projects where games are put up onto these funding platforms, so like Indiegogo or Kickstarter or things like that, where people who really are quite young and haven't had much experience in the industry, especially the video games industry, want to go out and build something great. Now, I want to go and start and explore this issue and talk about why it doesn't have to be difficult. And people seem to make the whole process of building video games a lot more difficult than they need to. So the first thing I want to start with is the very principle of what a game is. If you look at the dictionary definition of a game, it is something that engages a person with amusement or entertainment. And a lot of people I've noticed in the past and in my experience from way back is there seems to be a bit of a confusion and a kind of crossover between the idea of engagement and fun and realism and simulation, which are completely two different things. So the idea about having a game is to have it be engaging, and you can do that. You can make it engaging and fun, and you can keep it simple. And a lot of people are kind of drawn into the simulation world, into these super amazing graphics, and they might kind of spark your interest for a short time, but that is not, that simulation, Unreal Engine 5, all of these crazy graphics, this does not make a game. Now, a lot of people who are in the games industry, who have attended the different conferences, who know a lot of people who are designers or are designers themselves, will know this basic fact, is that simulation is not a game. Now, a lot of people then go out and try to create these amazing simulations of worlds, and this does that, and they try to use really incredible graphics to do that. Now, one thing I've noticed is that a lot of the indie games where people are smart and they catch on to that is that they can use pixel graphics to create just as much of an engaging experience. 2D pixel graphics to tell a good story, to create an engaging game, to have a fun game. Even some of the biggest games out there that have the most players are not based on the graphics, because the graphics don't make the game. You know, the graphics and the simulation and all of these special effects, they're not what you want to aim for. If you want to make a game, if you want to start and if you want to build something, start with the idea that will make the player want to engage with your product. It's not the graphics, it's the entertainment value that they get by having an experience inside this game, so to speak, right? So you can read a good book and be engaged by it just as much as you can be engaged by a great movie. But it's the story and the characters and the element of playability that in games will make it what is a much better experience. So if I read a book and it's a great story, I don't need great graphics. I'm engaged by the book itself. If I see a movie and it's got a great story, it's got great characters, I don't care about the special effects. It doesn't make a difference. You can use one camera, you can use a DSLR, you can use whatever. It doesn't make a difference what kind of technology you use when you build it. A good example of this is Avatar. Avatar was great, marketed as this great, amazing movie that was just on the forefront of technology. But as a film, not that many people really were kind of a fan of it. I wasn't a fan of it personally. I think it didn't really do anything for the film genre. It wasn't an interesting story. But that aside, the idea that I'm trying to communicate here is that when people go out and make these bold claims, it's because they haven't really thought about what the engagement within the product is going to be. And you should be careful of that. If you see these Kickstarter projects, these Indiegogo projects making grand claims about graphics and simulation and all those kind of things, I think you want to be wary of that, because that's not what's important. You can you can create cool systems like the factory, I don't remember the name. There's a lot of small indie games that have exploded, not because of their graphics, but because of the attention to the engagement within the game. And that's what's important, and that's what I think I want to take away from this video, is to communicate the focus on the amusement, focus on the engagement with the player. Don't focus on the simulation, don't focus on the graphics, because that's not what's important in a video game. And I think if you go towards developing a game with those things in mind, if you do some research on what makes games fun and interesting first, and have a look at game designs as a fundamental point, maybe even try and tabletop it, they call it. So with video games, usually designers will tabletop a game. So start with that first. Get your basics straight, gameplay straight, and then focus on how you want to represent that. And you might end up using pixel graphics just to get started, or you might want to go for 3D graphics. A lot of 3D assets are out there, but I'll tell you from experience that one, it doesn't make a difference whether you use 2D or 3D graphics for the game, not at all. And two, if you want to make the game faster and you want to get it out there within a reasonable amount of time, especially if you're an indie studio, then don't spend too much time on these tech demos. Use the basics. If you want to build an engine, go ahead, but don't try and bite off more than you can chew. Well, anyway, guys, thanks for listening. That's it for me and this topic of going out and maybe overextending yourself on video games. I hope you got something out of it, and I'll see you at the next video. Bye.